It is my pleasure to welcome you to this important press briefing with the esteemed Palestinian photojournalist and storyteller Belal Khaled. Your presence here today affirms the vital role that journalism continues to play in giving voice to the voiceless and shining a light on the truth. Salam Media is a South African-based platform committed to humanitarian journalism. We are not just another media outlet. We exist to amplify the voices of the oppressed, to bring attention to the stories often buried beneath headlines, and to highlight the interconnectedness struggles around poverty, inequality, racism, and global humanitarian crisis. We are especially honored to host Belal Khaled, whose lens has captured both the pain and resilience of the Palestinian people. Through his photography and storytelling, Belal embodies the mission of Salam Media, using media as a force for justice, awareness, and solidarity. I'll now hand you over to my colleague, Selailo Makwidiri, who is one of the presenters of our flagship show called News and Views. Over to you, Selailo. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on these hallowed grounds, Nelson Mandela Foundation. I think a very special place for us South Africans. There's a lot of history that is here, and I think it was only fitting that we host Belal here. So yeah, we're going to have a short conversation with Belal, just so all of us can get a bit of insight on the work that he does, and most importantly, why is he here in South Africa? Belal, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you very much for hosting. It's my pleasure to be here in South Africa.
Your first time in South Africa?
Yeah,
Excited?
First time, yeah.
I think we can kickstart the conversation with, you personally, outside of being a journalist, growing up in the refugee camps of Gaza, and watching literally your whole life the occupation of the Israeli apartheid genocidal regime continue to kill, continue to take Palestinian lands. How was that for you, and how would you say it shaped and molded you to do the kind of work that you're doing right now?
For me, as a photojournalist who born in a refugee camp in Gaza, I born in Khan Yunis refugee camp, and when my mom she was pregnant, my father he was in the prison, in the occupation prison, so he didn't attend to my birth. I born in the first Intifada, and I found myself between the this kind of attacking, this kind of every day, like we sitting in front of the news watching what's happening in West Bank and in Gaza, and for me, I found myself affected by all of these images, all of these footages. I saw it in the television or in the newspaper. We don't have internet at that time, so I remember in the second Intifada, I was around 10 years, and I still remember Muhammad al-Durra footage when Faris Oda, most of iconic images, it's came from Gaza, and that it's make me like to do something, to go throw the stone against occupation, to protest, to shouting. It's make me cry something, and in that moments, in that time, I realized how much the important of photo, how much the important of how much the photo it can change the situation. It can also support the community. It can deliver the message of your people. And from that time I was dreaming when I want to be like a journalist. I want to be like a photojournalist. I want my photos going everywhere, in every house, in each platform. Before that, I started to do an art calligraphy, Arabic calligraphy in that time. So I used to do the calligraphy for the martyrs, because it's every day we had a martyr. So my graffiti and my calligraphy, it was just for writing the names of the martyrs. This one of our habits in Gaza. When we have like a martyr, we drawing his pictures, we writing his names, and everywhere in the city. So that's my beginning of Arabic calligraphy. So I used my calligraphy since the beginning, like just to have a message, to do something, not just for like I want to make some painting on the walls. No, it's because I believe if I cannot resist with the gun, if I cannot go and fight in the battle, like I can fight with my camera, I can't fight with my brush. And this is all of like the Palestinian. They are fighting with their souls. They are fighting in their with their jobs, like the doctor, like the journalist, the woman, she cooked for like her children. She's a resistant. She's everyone in Gaza. He do a resistant in his way.
Yeah, I think you just touched a bit on my next question on the intentionality of Palestinians and how they choose the kind of work that they do. You spoke about the doctors. You spoke about even the women, the teachers. Is that a thing? When you go to school, at the end of the day, that whatever work that you're going to do after school, it'll be for the resistance. You'll be fighting using whatever talent God has given you, and whatever you have learned at school is not for you, but for the country, essentially.
For me, I wasn't too much interesting about going to school. Yani I was always preferring to go to work after the school. So I went to school, but uh, I was having a dream that I'm gonna be like an artist or a photojournalist or something like this. So it's take me a little bit from a school. So I just finished my high school, then I didn't attend to I didn't finish my university. But before that, even when I was in the schools, my job, it was always when we have a martyr, when we have a protest, when we have like a big activities against occupation. So I always be in the like in the front lines there, like making signs for a protest, drawing on the school, inviting them, everything. I can do it. I was like do it immediately at that time. Uh, I remember also when the first day of Intifada in 2000, I was in the second school. So we left the school and we go to the front lines to throw the stones in the occupations. And my friend, he got shot there and he was martyr in that time. So all of our kids, all of our boys in Gaza, they born like they lived this life in that days, and until now they are suffering, they are struggling with the occupation. And I always told myself, if I want to do something, it should have a message, it should have a value. Because uh, when you gonna die, like your effects, it should be forever for in that people, for the world also. So I always trying to be a voice for humanity, a voice for like the people who are suffering, for who are struggling in Gaza and also outside of Gaza. Because when I covered around the world, when I go at some areas, I always focusing on like a refugees cases, on the victims, on the people who have struggling with apartheid, with something like these people, because I'm one of them. I'm a refugee. I'm living in Gaza as a refugee, so I can feel like the pain of those people, and I can be the voice of also of those people, and this is make me this is pushing me and motivate me to do more and more and keep continue my work, because I know I'm gonna do a change for this community.
I'd like us to fast forward to the 7th of October. At that moment, where were you? What was going through your mind? Because I think for all of us journalists, and I think everyone globally looking at it, it just felt different. The 7th of October looked different. It felt like a turning point. Did you get the same sense as a Palestinian?
Yeah, for sure, and that's why I immediately I was in Doha in October 7 morning. I was in Doha, and when I watched the news, what happening there in Gaza, immediately I realized that it's gonna be a harsh war against the people there in Gaza. So direct, I booked my ticket and I went to Gaza in the same day. So I have a ticket with October 7 date. I still have it and I put it on the frame, because it's a turning point in the world, not just on my life, in the Palestinian case especially. And the first reason I don't think a lot about the risk I'm gonna face it there. If I'm gonna lose like my life, gonna injured, if gonna stuck there. I wasn't thinking about this. The only worries it was in my mind, if the border is closed before I enter to Gaza, or if they didn't allow me to enter to Gaza in that day. Why? Because يعني, I attend to the journalism, and I want to be a photojournalism, to be in the field in that day, not to watch it in the news. And this is my mission now. This is my job. So direct, I went to Gaza. I enter in 8th of October, because we should fly to Egypt. Then from Egypt we need to go by car to Gaza. The second thing is like to be with my family also, because all my family is in Gaza, and to watch your family suffering, struggling far away, it's kill you every day like thousand time, and from like stress, worry, from like useless that you feel it, you cannot do anything for them. But when you be with them there, it's make you more comfortable, because you can help them, you can bring food, you can mm, يعني make sure they are fine there, not too much worried out. And I know that the when I was go in my way to Gaza, I always like have in my mind, there you gonna shot, you gonna killed, you gonna injured maybe, because as a journalist, in Gaza we work in the front lines, we going in attacking area, we risking by our life just uh, to to capture the moment, just to deliver it, like the story. So I wasn't care about that reason. Why? Because uh, all of us we gonna die one time, because we are Muslims. We are like we believe that we gonna die, but you prefer you dying during important thing you can do, like a journalism. You deliver it like the voice of victims there, and this is like the most thing you can do it in your life, and what's a beautiful end for your life. So we wasn't care about that. But after and also after the weeks, they starting attacking the journalists, and now we are talking about more 250 of our colleagues who killed by Israel. Why? Because they are just carrying a camera, just they are covering the truth, deliver it to the world. and this is bothering the occupation. This is annoying them. This is make them like we are exposing to the world. That's why they attacking their families, they attacking their houses, they kill them, they push them in all of the ways just to stop what they are doing. But this is unfortunately they are idiot because they are thinking we are gonna stop like what we are doing. But for these reasons we continue because my colleagues when he if my colleagues die, I need to tell his story, I need to continue his story, and all of us like this because I'm gonna work to get his right, to get the justice for him, because all of us we know the journalism it's protected by international law, exceptional Gaza. It's and we felt in there we are a dangerous for people because they attacking us. So each where we are going there we was scared about the people, about the families also. Yani I remember all of the journalists they don't prefer to go to the houses. Why? Because they don't want to get the houses attacking because the drones and the Israels they waiting you to enter to the house and they bombing you and they killing you with your family. So that's why we prefer to stay away from our family just to protect them.
Speaking of families, a lot of journalists from Gaza that we've interacted with, we've spoken to, they tell us about how even the relationships with their families started to sour because some of their families told them, "You're putting us in danger. We might get killed. We'll definitely be targeted because of the kind of work that you do." How was your family, doing the kind of work that you do, knowing the dangers that it poses, and ultimately the spillage of the dangers to your family outside of what's already happening in the country?
So from the first day when I arrived, I wasn't tell my family I'm coming to Gaza on that day. But when my mom opened the door and she saw me, she shocked and she started crying because she know that I'm gonna be in the field and it will be dangerous and she will be worried about me all the time. And she asked me why you came, and I told her like I cannot let you suffering and I just like looking at you. So from that moment, of course, yani you have a family, you are caring a lot about them, about their lives, and to be a photojournalist in Gaza, you have a challenge. It's very difficult to make a balance between your job and your humanity side and your family. How you gonna cover and how you gonna like bring a food, bring a water, evacuate from like place to another place. It's very difficult. How if your son like get injured or sick, how you gonna go and help him? Also, always we have like the thinking that what if I'm while I'm covering the massacre, while I'm covering in the hospital, my family came, and it's happening with a lot of our colleagues, Muhammad Al-Alul, Mu'min Al-Shrafi, Wa'il Dahduh. A lot of my colleagues, they lost their family during their mission. So they, uh, after they was reporting about the people, they was reporting about themselves. So as a journalist, we became a part of the story, not like just deliver the story. No, always in the journalism, we stay far away from the story we covered. But now in Gaza, we became like the main part of the story when they attack your family, when you bury your family, and you going in the screen, and when you catching your camera and start again and again. For my family, our house was bombed in the first month of October, and I'm sure it was because of my job. And my mom, my sister, they got injured, but alhamdulillah they are fine now. and then we go back at the house after 2 weeks. We repair it as much as we can live in it. We put some blankets over it, and we live it. And after like 2 months, they also re-attacked the houses. Uh, and after we go from Khan Yunis to Rafah, they bombed it like immediately. So we lost our houses forever. And this is like one kind of the cost of your job, what the cost of your mission of what you are doing. And uh, many of the journalists, they lose their limbs, they lose their kids, they lose their houses, offices, but no, يعني none of them he stopped his mission. None of them he stay in his house and just like lift his camera or lift his mic. There is also a cameraman. I call our colleagues Samish Hada. Yeah, he lost his limbs and now he's also continue the coverage. He going with one leg and he's using his camera just to continue his job also. And this is the resistance that we are talking about. This is a type of resistance.
Just take us through, a day, of a journalist in Gaza. What does it look like? How do you respond to whatever that's happening? Because I think it's so difficult for someone here in South Africa or any other part of the world to visualize it. I think most of us are journalists here, especially here in South Africa. You're just responding to a press statement, wherever you've been called, a protest. 99.9% of the time, nothing's going to happen to you, and you know what to expect. But from a journalist in Gaza's point of view, what goes through your mind? It's so hard, for anyone to, try and envision it. And I think we have a special opportunity having you here to give us those first accounts of what a day in the life of a journalist in Gaza looks and feels like.
Um, our day was starting from the hospital because from the first week of the war, we lost all of our offices as a journalist, and the occupation they forces the people and the media and all of the civilians who living in the north to go to south. So all of us like we became without offices. So this is the first challenge. Like where you gonna charge your equipment? Where you gonna like send your footage? Where you gonna make the editing for the photos or the videos you took it? So we started to work from like the cars. So always like going around, covering what happened and going to the car, making the edit and reaching to any like near cafe or like internet point there just to upload the footage, the images. So our day started from a tent. We put it in the hospitals and it became our offices and our houses. So we sleep like 10 or like 15 sometimes in one tent. All of us like colleagues, but different agencies, different offices in the hospital just to use the electric from the hospital to charge our equipment. So imagine yourself like while you're sleeping at 7 morning, 6 morning, you woke up at the screams of the people who are like injured, who are like coming to the farewell of their relatives, because this happened each day. So we open our eyes on the between the bodies, covering like the farewell of the martyrs. Then we're gonna go to the emergencies room to cover also the injured people who arrived to the hospital. Then we going to around to the houses it attacked in the last night. So because at night we cannot we cannot move. It's very risky. So after this, we go back to the hospital, and the circle it's going again and again. So all of our days, it's b- يعني between the hospitals, the bombed house, the uh, between the bodies, between like the tents for the like, displacement people there. So it's too heavy for us, and uh, each time like you became at the night like you are very exhausted. You cannot like do anything. But when you hear like the ambulance is coming, or like you hear like a bombing, you cannot stay like sitting. You even if you don't have a power, you forces yourself to go to cover this, because it's your job and it's your mission. And all of this story, it's very important, it's matter. Why? Because they are not just numbers. Each massacre should document, each like victim should also document. So we forced each other just to continue as much as we can, even if don't have a power. About also the the lack of food, the lack of water, it's affected us as a journalist, because sometimes you need to uh, you need to stand on a line for like hours just to bring some bread for your family. And in that period, in that time, there is a lot of things happened, and you are not there to cover this. So also this is, it's something it affect to you, because you should be your job is not just to bring food, and your job is to cover the massacre, to cover the bombing there. And in your health, in your mental health also, when you didn't sleep well, when you didn't like eat well, it's affected also to your work. So sometimes it's يعني you feel like you don't have a power to continue, you don't have a power. And in that period, the doctors, they gave us like a vitamins, they gave us like a medicine or a protein. It's like a chocolate or biscuits, because there was like a hunger. There was like there is no food. The border was closed at the first 3 months. So we was using like something just to give us a little power. Also, in the how can I say it? When you want to go to the toilet, you need like to wait maybe like 40 or 1 hour just to use the toilet, because all of more than from refugees and like journalists, they are living in this hospital now, and there is like just a few toilets, and each one he need like to use it. So it's also affected to your health, and also it's something wasting your all of your much of your time, and a lot of small details. Yeah, and يعني we can like mention it later.
I think that's very, very important to stress, because usually when we think of journalists, whether they're in Gaza or whatever, place in the world, we like isolating them from the story. When you mention that, there's maybe famine, or there's no water, and all of the challenges that you're mentioning, we always hear the journalists reporting about it, and it never really clicks that they're actually going through the same thing. How important is it to stress that element? What you mentioned, that whatever the people of Gaza are going through, the genocide, the blockade, no medicine, no food getting inside of Gaza, is also affecting primarily also the journalists, and not just the general population of Gaza.
And the journalist is a human also, and he's a part of community, and he need like to eat well, he need like to drink clean water, he need also to get a medicine also when he gets sick. or when he have like a pain on his teeth or something, he need to all of this, most of this, it's we don't have it as a journalist there, and as civilians, but because here we are talking about the journalists, I'm talking. So in that days, it's very hard to make like to continue your coverage, because you are sometimes you are waiting, as I said, like for a food, or you are like looking for a tent. You need like to find a tent to put it for your family when they displacement, because they need like to leave their house immediately. So the occupation always like they forced us to go now. You need like to go out just right now from the house. So all of these things, it's affected our missions, affected our job. And also when you get injured, you don't have the equipments, like sometimes like the pain killing, the medicine, the wheelchair also, if you didn't found it. uh, so as the journalist, he's a human also, so he's struggling and suffering like all of the civilians.
Um, I want to come to, I think, something that you touched on, mental health. I think in the last few years, especially for journalists of our generation, it has been very, very important to stress. You know, we are told to, switch off, detox of all the news that you've been reporting on and everything that you've been seeing. Is there an outlet for Palestinian journalists? Is there a luxury to even entertain the state of your mental health?
Unfortunately, يعني the mental health is like last thing the people they are thinking about it, because now they want to surviving from like the killing, from like the starving, from like the death, from uh, like multi kind of death. After this, they can think about like the mental health, and now they don't have a luxury to think about it. They don't have a luxury to for sadness. If someone when we lose someone, we don't have a time, we don't have a luxury like to be sad for him, or to have our like a space like to remember, and to, because each like the action is going so fastly, and you lost someone, and after hours you lost another one, after 2 days you lost another one. So you don't have like a luxury of sadness. And about the mental health also, a lot of people they are asking me, and do you go to the therapist, do you go like have a therapy, do a therapy? But for me, as and I told them, uh, the therapist, science, and they studied in the university, they don't like they don't go on this situation before. They don't have any background how to deal with like a survivor from like genocide, how to deal with a journalist who he spent all of his days like not just capturing for like the victims, also he was carrying them, he was helping them, he living but he lost I lost my relative, we lost our colleagues. So I think we there is like what he gonna say like for someone like this. But what we are doing as a Gazans people is like talking to each other. The Gazans people, when they talking to each other, when they chatting with each other, they healing like their souls, they healing each other, because we know what's really going on. Yani the therapist I'm going to talk it, he don't have any idea about like the area, like the small details that we going through. But we when talking to each other, and I sit with Muhammad Abed, and I found like he suffering more than me, so it's making me like shy, it's making me comfortable like to, oh, he's paying a lot and he's still like standing. He's still like so. We are like doing. We treat each other as a Gazans people. We preferred this than more like going to therapy because, as I said, I don't think they gonna they gonna know how to deal with this cases.
Was there a moment for you personally where you felt you were at your lowest? You felt, I can't take this anymore. I've seen too much. I've lost too much. And how did you pull yourself out of that moment?
And a lot of times, seriously, and a lot of times you feel you feel down and you don't have energy, you don't have a power to continue. You feel like you are totally exhausted, but we always remind ourselves this is not you don't have a choice. First of all, yani you don't have a luxury of a choice like to continue or to sit, because if you lift your camera you cheat your people. This is the main things that we are thinking about. If I turn off my camera, if the massacre happen and I just keep watching and I told myself, oh, I'm exhausted, I cannot, I don't have power, you cheat that people because this is your job. The doctor, he need like to treat them. The journalist, he need like to document this for the history, for the justice, and for like the people around the world. So always we remind ourselves like for how much the importance of our mission, how much the people there in Gaza they need us right in that moment. Imagine like if all of what happening there we didn't see it in social media or in the media, like me and my colleagues they are like exhausting and they didn't cover it, so none of the world they gonna know about what happening there. No one of them like they gonna move, they gonna protest, they gonna push up in the occupation to end this genocide. So always we believe that we are like the voice of these people, the voice of these victims, and we need like to stand more and not give up.
Do journalists in Gaza still feel the work that they are doing actually reaches people from the whole world? I mean, you know, you guys continue to report, you continue to give interviews to media outlets, showing the true lived realities of the people of Gaza, but it doesn't stop. The Israeli genocidal forces continue to bomb, they continue to kill children, women, unarmed men. Don't you ever feel like, why are you not hearing us? Why are you not internalizing and understanding and doing something about what we've been showing you for the past 300 plus days?
So always we asking ourselves about this, but the first goal of our mission is like to document this crime for the history, for the justice, and also one of the main is to stop this, to change this. But now we didn't face like a war between like two countries, like we are facing like a genocide against like a civilian, against kids, with a green light from all the world. All of the world is like uh, they doing the war against Gaza. All of the world they want like to erase like the people there. They want like they give like the green light to for the occupation to do all I'm talking about the governments, but the people who are still until now they are protesting, they are like doing activities. We are here now to do like activities. It's one kind of support for Palestine. So all of this we are showing it as a Palestinian. All of my colleagues in Gaza also they saw the effects of like the image of the videos that they show it. But we all of us we believe if there is no border between the countries, all of the war, they will come, they will stay with us, they will fight with us, they will send it. But our blame is on the governments who are like supporting this, who are like uh, blocking any activities like for Gaza. But if the change it's not happen right now, it will gonna be like later, the change of the photos that's make it a change. So it's gonna be the right for the victims to use it in for justice, for their rights in the court. If you lose your family, like Dr. Ala Najjar, she lost like 9 of her of her kids and her husband. And if there is like no evidence, if there is no photos to show this, to document this, they're gonna say she's lying or something like this. But this is one of our mission also, to help that victims, also to a lot of times to save the lives of the injured people there. So we help a lot of cases to go out of Gaza because of our photos, because of our images. It's reached to the organization outside, and they help them to evacuate from Gaza. So this is it's still happening. We still affected. We still like pushing the free people in the world like to move, the free people to continue boycotting, talking about Palestine, protesting. So we know like how much important our work is, and the journalists they are still like doing their job right now, because we believe of the free people in the world.
I want to wrap up our conversation so that we can open the floor. I'm sure our colleagues have questions that they want to ask you. But before I do that, I want to ask you one last question. What do you maybe believe that the world doesn't quite understand about the genocide in Gaza? You know, have the privilege to be inside and outside of Gaza worlds, and able to see how the rest of the world is reacting to this genocide. Are there any misconceptions, maybe something that we don't understand or fully grasp about this genocide, and the world definitely needs to know about?
And I think all of the world they became understand all the details, all of what happened. This is the first genocide going live. It didn't happen in the history. You can see the massacre from like 360 angle, like multi photos, multi cameras. You can see it, and all of this, the occupation, they going and they said, oh, they are lying, they are making propaganda, blah blah blah. So we are I always say this, like we are in two wars, a wars in the ground, and there is like also a social media wars against us, because like Meta and Facebook, Instagram, they always doing a war against all of the content coming from Palestine. Any content also related to Gaza, to the genocide, they hide it, they restrict your account, they deleted our account, because they also want to they are controlled by occupation, by the Zionism. So always they are trying to hide the truth because they don't want like to the people to move. They don't want the people around the world to sow this crimes. And also in the ground, what happening there, all of the people they became like sure the United States and the US, they don't interest to stop this in the war. Why? Because they are controlling the war, they are pushing on the governments, they are also anyone who want to support Palestine, they are punishing him, as we saw in the universities in US. So they don't care about any human in the world, because they saw they are this people in this Gaza, they treat like the occupation. They are like a threat for like their baby, the Israel. So that's why they want to erase them all.
All right, we're going to open the floor. Colleagues, if you have any questions, there's a roving mic. Bilal, any questions from our colleagues, and we'll take it from there.
Assalamu alaikum, Bilal. Welcome to South Africa.
Thank you.
When we look at the statistics, more journalists have been killed since the genocide started. World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War combined. And it's quite clear that Western media couldn't care about the lives of Palestinian journalists that are doing their job. It's clear. And to make matters worse, Israel has blocked any foreign media from coming into Israel, let alone Gaza, to go ahead and cover the genocide that is happening. As a resident of Gaza, how betrayed do you feel by the Western world, who calls itself the father of democracy, especially the United States, given that each day a journalist dies in Gaza just for doing their job?
They said like this a war against all of the civilians, and it's against like the main things is against the journalism. Always the democratic countries, as America, they always like saying the journalism it should be in a product, and always if something happened to any journalist outside of Gaza, they got a statement and they do like everything to protect him. Exceptional Gaza, they dealing, and they have actually a very bad way before they targeting the journalists. So before they targeting the journalists, they starting like to make a campaign against him, like he's a terrorist, he's working with Hamas, he helping Hamas, he was knowing about October 7 before, and that's never happened before. I know like a lot of my colleagues, they sent a report to their agencies. Why? Because they're covering the October 7 on the border. So they told them these photographers, they was knowing about like the October 7 attack. So you should like assume them, you should like fire them from the war. And this didn't happen in the war. It's not their business. And this is the work of journalism. If you saw like an action, if you something, you need to cover it before. And during the war, as I said, they starting like make a terrorism reputation about the journalist, just to give them a right to attack them. So when they attack them, all of they show it in to the world, he's a terrorist and he need he need to be killed, unfortunately. The organizations for like the journalism, to protect the journalism, it's controlled also by the Zionism. So also they don't care about this Gazans people, this Gazans journalism. But if a journalist killed in Israel, they make like a funeral, they make like a protest, they do anything. Why? Because it's controlled by the Zionism. So we have like a war in like in multi areas, in social media and journalism, in the ground, and in everything. And we need like also to keep fighting, to keep. And the awareness of the people, and they became, and after October 7, it's one of our income of this war against us. So the people now, they are shouting for the journalism. They are asking to protect them. Many of journalism, they are boycotting. They are like they escaped of their agencies because they are Zionism. So this is one of the effect.
Shukran. Salamu alaikum.
Alaikum
And
salam.
welcome to Joburg specifically.
Thank you.
So I just I know obviously we've been focusing on all the devastation and destruction, and we should continue. I wanted to ask, in your coverage as a photojournalist, have you seen any acts of resilience, any acts of resistance that have inspired you? And if so, what are they?
Uh, all of act in the ground, especially in this genocide, was act of resilience, as I said. I remember there is one time there was a funeral in the hospital, and there was like a family, they doing a birthday in the same, like, so the scene is like this: there is a birthday and in the background there is a funeral. So this is type of resilience. The woman, they was sitting in the corridor of the hospital, they using the electric to making a bread and feeding the doctors and feeding also the journalists who working there. This is also act of resilience. uh, there is a people who making the food and distribute it for like the refugees camp also. This is like act of resilience. Like even the kids, when they are going and don't care about what they are happening and they're playing on their yard, this is also act of resilience. Why? Because we are owner of this land. And let's let's see what after the Iran attacked Israel. Now all of the Israel, they want to go out of Israel. Now they want to run away. But look at the Gazans people. The Gazans people, they have a genocide and they want to stay there. They don't want to leave their houses. And this is standing is like the most type of resilience. So all of acting we showing there, it's a resilience.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Julie Ali from Salam Media. You've touched on Iran, and I'm wondering if that is the Israel attacking Iran now on a false pretext of nuclear facilities within Iran. Do you think that that is going to shift the focus from Gaza, or is the genocide going to be ongoing? You also talked about the Israelis now jumping the ship. A lot of them are leaving Israel, whereas the Gazans are steadfast. They're going to remain on because they need to protect their birthright, their land, their heritage. So they're going to remain on. But does this attack on Iran, this war that's now playing out, going to shift the balance within and perhaps take the pressure off Gaza and Palestine as a whole?
No, I don't. I don't think they are they entering the war against Iran to shifting the coverage about Gaza or something like that, because they said they always they was dreaming and they saw it. This is our chance to erase all of the threats in all around us, in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria, and in Iran also. They always think it's very clearly in the media. And also they spent like a years like to prepare for their attacks when they started this war in Iran. And now we saw all, maybe the media didn't show all of the damages that's happening in Israel right now, but there is like hundreds of buildings. They are like 100%. They are destroyed, and they are like losing from the economy. So this is like was the main goal of October 7. Yahya Sinwar, he said it before the October 7. I'm not a political, but all of us, we know it. He said it's gonna be a region war. We're gonna start, and it's gonna be a region war. Why? Because they don't give the Palestinian their rights. And he asked them a lot and a lot and a lot. If you didn't give us our rights, we're gonna launch something. It's gonna make like a region war. And this is what's really happened. And maybe this is one of like the effects for the long of genocide. Maybe it's started and ended in like 2 months or 3 months. All of this, it's not gonna happen. But we believe in Allah, so we believe in like maybe this is one the reason of like changing in all of the Palestinian case, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Bilal, right at the beginning, you mentioned that you were born into the Intifada, and like many Palestinians and people of your age, all you've known throughout your entire life is occupation. And just to understand the mentality and the psyche of the Palestinian mindset, because here I'm talking about generational trauma for the last 76 years. So each generation in the last 76 years has been through some sort of trauma as a result of the occupation, whether it's been living in a concentration camp or in an outdoor prison, for want of a better term. And this time around with the genocide in the last 20 months or so, we've seen it a lot more brutal. It's been more devastating. Particularly looking at Gaza, looking at the population of Gaza, many, many young people like yourselves, many, many young children as well. What does this actually do to the psyche and the mindset of the children in particular? Because this is the generation for the future. These are going to be the future leaders of Palestine. How do you think this has actually impacted on their mindset? And when we see the horrific images that comes through, the begging bowl syndrome, which I call, because we've seen so many visuals of children holding out pots and bowls and all sorts of things just to get a meal on its own. What does this actually mean for the children of Palestine in their future?
Uh, so we don't do like much effort to do a mindset on our children. Why? Because they saw like the reality on their eyes is when they born in they are born in Gaza and they found their self, they don't have a father and mother. Why? Because the Israel, they killed them. What he gonna do after when he grow up? He gonna fight to get the justice of their like of from the occupation who killed his father and his family. And imagine now, all of the families in Gaza, they have a martyr. They have like maybe 1 or 2 or 60. Like some family, they have 60 and 70 martyr from like the same family. So all of this happen when you grow up and you ask your father, where is my house? And he said to you, like, the occupation, they destroyed it in the genocide. So you're gonna rebuild your house, then you're gonna like get your right from who like destroy your house, because you don't you are a civilian, you don't do anything, and he destroyed it. So that's the only thing I can do it with the. So we always focusing on the education and because we have very powerful education in Gaza, alhamdulillah. So all of the people in Gaza, they went to schools, they went to university to to get like a education to help the Palestine case in the future, to be a doctor, to be a journalist, to be the engineering to rebuild these countries, and also about how you can see how the Palestinians they are catching with the life, with the hope, especially in the genocide when they destroyed the houses. He go and he start rebuild in the houses during the genocide. Even he know like maybe they will attack it his more and more and more. Why? Because he's the owner of the land. He have a roots. يعني an example, my father now he's living on a tent in Khan Yunis camp over our rubbles, our houses rubbles. There is like a lot of flats. He can go there. I told him you can go to my cousin house. He said no. I found myself here. He likes the streets. He remember this. He have a roots with this specific area, and this is like how do you think of the people who's like they didn't sell like this sand. They don't want they will not sell their lands also. They will not like go out of it.
Assalamu alaikum. Belal, you are a multi-award-winning journalist, photojournalist, right, whose work has been is celebrated worldwide. Can you talk to us about one image or piece of work that holds deep meaning for you, and why?
All of my images, it's have like a difficult story. It's have a like a special pain. It's have a special moments because all of them they are victims, but the story is it's different. But maybe we can mention Abdullah Al-Ghuf. Abdullah, he's the one who uh, the guy I found him next to his son body. His son, he was 3 or 4 years. He was like alone. He was crying next to his body, and I found him alone. So I went to him and I asked him how he killed. So he told me I went to in the morning. He asked me for a biscuit, so I went to the market to bring him biscuits, and I go back to the home. I found he's died with his mother. So during while I'm talking with him, he take out like the piece of biscuits and he put it in the shred with the kids, and he was talking with his dying son, and he's saying like, I bring it because you love it and you ask it, so take it with you to the heaven. So it's killing me from inside. It's يعني I always saying like we have two eyes. One eye is covering and one eye is crying about for all of the scenes that we cover it, because all of the people there that we know them, like we live with them. They are our relatives, our friends, our colleagues, and also our people.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم
بلال
السلام.
الحمد لله على سلامتك.
الله
يحفظ لك
يسلمك
الأهل يا رب.
حبيبي.
So I have two questions. Honestly, one from me and one from my fiance in Gaza. So I want to start with her question. She said, how you deal with your feelings as a photographer, that your humanity is first and also the picture is important for the documenting in front of all the world. Like now you are in a situation, let me say, that there is no anyone to help. You are the only one with your camera. You will help, or what you will do?
Always we saying the human life is more important than the photos, and that's what we always did it. A lot of situation we found ourselves, we left our camera, we cannot take we don't need to take a photos because there's a lot of people under the rubbles. They are needing our helps. I remember there is one attack in Al Taj area in Al Jalaa Street. We arrived before like the civilian defense and the ambulance. So we arrived there, and we found like hundreds of people. They are under the rubbles because they destroyed 10 high buildings in that area. So the people, they are like screaming from under the rubble, and the destruction, it was like a massive there. So we don't know how to start, we don't know what we need to cover, and also there is a lot of people, they need our help. So we left our vest, we left our cameras, and we start just to working. I remember in that day I didn't take like photos, I didn't cover in that area. That's why, because always we saying, if you have a chance to help someone, you need to help it. If there is someone he can help and you can take the photos, you do your job, and the people, they gonna help him.
My question, honestly, I remember very well this time because I was around and I heard all the story. But my question is, I think also my brother, he asked similar thing about the most image that like you can't forget it. But I need one story from you, Bilal, that until now, every time that you remember it and you can't forget what's happening there.
So as I said, each image, like we always, maybe daily, I open all of the image, I took it from like my social media, from the people who send it to me, from like the book I'm working on it, or like the exhibitions. Uh, Maybe one of the photos also I cannot forget is Amina Ghannam, the child who was living on a caravan, and the tanks, they came and they go over them, the family. So they still at the whole night under like this caravan, they smashed actually all of the people. So when she came to the hospital, her eyes was like a black and red colors, because like the huge pressure that she have. And she told me all of the night we was talking with my father and my other sisters until they dying. So he was like, imagine like you talking with your father and you know he gonna die like after like minutes and minutes, and she cannot do anything for him. Also, she lost her sister in the same accident. So also this is one of like the main, and all of the world, they now they became knowing the eyes of this child. I'm sure like all of you, they saw the girl, she wearing like a blue mask and her eyes is very very dark. So this is the eye of genocide, we called it. And alhamdulillah, we this is the one thing that we are like proud of it, like that we help her like to go to Qatar and to get the treatment, and now she doing well. And this is like one of the important thing that we doing, is like to help someone to restore his life.
Assalamu alaikum, Bilal. Khalid Vauda from Social Intifada. Welcome to South Africa. Welcome to Johannesburg. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you, even if it's for a short period. The spirit of the people of Gaza has been spoken about a lot, and we've seen that over the last 20 months. We've known about it from our interaction with people from Palestine previously, but through this genocide, we've seen a spirit in the people of Palestine to be able to withstand this level of brutality against them by, the fourth most powerful military in the world. All types of modern warfare being unleashed against a population trapped in a concentration camp. While the whole world, the governments around the world, are supportive of this. Nothing like this has happened in human history before. And despite the whole world leaving the people of Palestine alone, the people continue to resist this. Can you, in your own understanding, describe what it is that keeps the people of Palestine resisting against this? What is the element? What are the elements that do that?
First of all, like the faith of Allah, alhamdulillah. Yani all of people, we believe on Allah Azza wa Jal, what he want from us, and what he all of the times he put us on the exams on our lives. If we will be patient, or we gonna like so. So, as I said, the faith of Allah makes the people who's losing. The mother, she lost all of her entire family, saying Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, because she know this is an exam from Allah Azza wa Jal, and also this is the cost for Al-Jannah. Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة. So we believe in this 100%, and most of the people in Gaza, they believe on this. As I said, the death is like it's gonna happen for all of us, but the shahada is like the first level of the death, and uh, we the second things we believe of our rights of this land. Imagine yourself, you sitting in your some people, they came to attack you, and you have just a stick, or you're gonna fight them with your hand, you're gonna fight with anything you have. You prefer this more than you just sitting and you like pleasing them, please, and يعني, because why? Because uh, when you die, when you defend your rights, you defend yourself, when you defend your land, it's it's uh, it's very it's very value for like for the world, and this is it's gonna be forever, and it's gonna be like showing to the world who's the real owner of the land.
All right. I don't think there's any more questions. We have come to the end of our session. Thank you so much, everyone, for yeah, please, please.
So as I said, it's a war between us and between from the social media against us actually. But we always trying to cheat the algorithm of the social media. So always when we share like the photos, something, we put some codes, we put some symbol between Gaza or Palestine, or because all of our followers, they became know we are from Gaza, and each image it's related, from Gaza. So we don't know, we don't need like to always saying this is from Gaza and this. So we make it like sometimes generally. This is like one trick just to reach more the followers, because unfortunately the restriction they put it in our account, it's very hard. Imagine you have 1 million followers, but your post about Gaza and Palestine, it reached to 1%. Yani the views, it can just be like 1,000, and you have 1 million. So you can, it's like you are screaming, but your voice, it's not reach to the people. And also we working with like a media who are like give us a space to tell our stories. Like the media, they are not controlled by the Zionist. And one of the good things happen in this world is the social media is exposing like the double standard of the Zionism newspaper, the Zionism agenda. So they are forcing now to also tell the Palestinian story, because when you saw like New York Times or the Guardian or any like a big newspaper, they are talking about attacking a hospital between Gaza and Ukraine, how they deal with it. Now the people, they are attacking them when they publishing them. You can read the comment. They are like attacking them, how they dealing with the Gazans and how they dealing with the Ukraine. So now they are like exposed. Now, so that's why they became. They trying now to put a space like for Palestinians' story to go out. So they're starting like to share our photos. They start to share our stories also, because they cannot run away from the truth now.
All right. I think we're done. This concludes our session. Thank you so much to everyone that has made their way. If you want to interact with Belal, you can do so. Just a few minutes. Any journalist that wants to interact with you, I think they can do that. But yeah, Prapunti will wrap us up and just give us, an itinerary of some of the events that we have with Belal. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much to Selailo for guiding that rich and thoughtful, thought-provoking conversation, and to you, Belal, there, for those inspiring insights. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. So as far as the itinerary is concerned, tomorrow there is a walk that has been spearheaded by the civic organization and Palestine solidarity organizations here in the country. It's going to be taking place in Soweto. The starting point is at Regina Mundi Church to the Dlamini Mosque, and that starts at 8 o'clock. So people start gathering at 8 o'clock, and we'll be walking from 8:30 there. And in the evening, tomorrow as well, there is an exhibition where the public will get an opportunity to watch and witness some of Belal's work there, right? Our colleague here, Gulshan Khan, is a project leader of the exhibition, so we'll take you through the exhibition tomorrow evening. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and I think that concludes the business of the event. Thank you.